YouTube. We are here for. Look at my face. Annoying. But I did drink soda yesterday. So, such is my life. But we are here for P Valley Season 2, Episode 5. White Nights. I must say, it was a good episode, and they just keep bringing it. This episode was different from any other episode of P Valley I've seen this far. Because I noticed all episodes before this, they always have like about 2 minutes of a scene, and then we get the the theme music and the theme song. Come on. But this episode, the theme song and everything played first, and then they got into the episode. And this episode was all about Keyshawn and Fantasyland. And the whole episode was not a fantasy, but it's Keyshawn living in the fantasy land in her mind. And she's gonna have to grow and become her own savior and stop looking for somebody to save her. But it was pretty good. So the episode is, we hear Uncle Clifford's voice because Uncle Clifford is narrating this episode. But it starts off with them being in this club. They in Atlanta. They playing Kryptonite by Purple City or Purple Ribbon All Stars featuring Big Boy. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. I like that song. But anyway, so it's a Legends Ball, and this is Legends of the pole and dance scene. And we have Gigi. They're honoring at this ball. They're honoring Gigi McGuire. You might be familiar with her for dancing at King of Diamonds, but she's also one of the hosts on Angela Yee's Lip Service podcast. And they actually had an interview with Nico, who plays Uncle Clifford, and Brandy, who plays Mercedes. They had a podcast with them, and they actually kind of like alluded to this episode that was going to come up that Gigi was going to be a part of. Excuse me. So this is the one that she was a part of. So it was a Legends Ball. She was herself. It was like like any like a role or whatever. She was herself. So at the ball they were honoring Gigi, Miami Tip from Love and Hip Hop Miami, and they spoke on her falling from the pole. Now somebody let me know. I remember the video that went viral, maybe 4 years ago or so, if it's been that long. Of the girl that was at the top of the pole, and when she came down, she fell straight down on her face. Was that Miami Tip, or is that some other girl? Because I don't remember um, the other girl being named Miami Tip. I thought her name was something else, and I remember her. That video went viral, and it made it to like national news shows like Good Morning America or one of those like that. But anyway, somebody let me know. So they was honoring Gigi, Miami Tip, and Jessica Dime. I didn't even recognize Jessica Dime. I might have to go back and look at the episode again because I got to look and see the face. I noticed Miami Tip and Gigi. I don't feel like the camera panned in on Jessica's face. But in the back of, like in the locker rooms, we see Mississippi or Keyshawn and Rome faking like, I took it as faking. Rome on the phone and talking to her. And to me, he's carrying on a conversation, acting like he's trying to negotiate some terms for her to be paid and how she's going to be paid, and the money shouldn't be coming out of the rollout or something, whatever. It should be coming off the back end, something, I don't know. But that's what he was on the phone doing, but I felt like it was all BS. I feel like as far as this episode, the more it went on and the more I really started to pay attention to Rome, the conversation that Big Al had with Roulette in the last episode about it's best to be the finesser and not the finessed, that kept coming to my head. Like every time I would see Rome, I just kept saying, be the finesser and not the finesse. And this whole time, Rome has been finessing Keyshawn. I just don't trust him. But he told her that some deal he was gonna get a deal with a company to do lace fronts, to do wigs. So he showed her all the wigs. And it was like a blue one, then there was a red one, like a Kool-Aid red wig. And she was like, these are all so ghetto. And then he showed her the blonde one. And once he showed her the blonde one, he told her to put it on. She didn't like it either. The part wasn't plucked. It looked synthetic and everything. It wasn't like Keyshawn said. I want to do like Peruvian and stuff, not no synthetic blends and all that kind of stuff. That's cheap. Keyshawn bougie. She's not going to want to put out something that she wouldn't wear herself. But he convinced her to put it on. And then we go into the club scene and we see Rome then got like a VIP area for Lil Murder, Teak, and Wody. The chilling while Keyshawn dance, cause Keyshawn gonna dance at this Legends Ball or whatever, and we see them chilling and Murder like, man, why you couldn't get me on the bill? Why I couldn't perform my song Mississippi Pride or something, instead of Keyshawn dancing to these other songs or whatever. And you know why? Because Rome ain't here for Lil Murder. He here for Keyshawn. So he gives him some BS excuse or whatever. Then the lights go down, and then we see somebody come out. The fairy godmother is freaking Jocelyn Hernandez. Then she comes out and they play her song, "Live Your Best Life," and she does like a little striptease. She says something. Excuse me. She says something to Miami Tip, Jessica Dime, and Gigi. And I wonder how it was filming this scene because her and Jessica Dime they had got into it when they was both on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Jocelyn tried to act like she ain't know Jessica, and Jessica came out with you knew me when you was down between my legs, eating like you was a bust down, or she alluded to that with that her and Stevie used to do stuff with Jessica, and Jessica put that out on the TV show. I'm not sure how real that is because now we're learning that all that stuff that they be saying and putting out on these reality shows wasn't real. It was just stuff to do or say to make up drama, and sometimes people weren't really enemies in real life like they tried to portray on the reality shows that they was on. But anyway, Jocelyn does her little number and introduces Mississippi. Mississippi come out and she do some fire pole work and everything. And then we starts to get flashbacks to her past. And it's Uncle Clifford narrating saying, let's see how she got to where she is. So we go back and we see her at cheerleading tryouts. She's trying some trick and she falls. She falls to the ground. And Gidget is the cheer captain. And apparently Mississippi is new to this town. She lived in another small town with her parents. And her father left her mother for another woman. And the woman that he leaves her for is the actress. Her name's Joyful Drake. She always played like a like the way her voice sounds. It sounds like an irritating hood girl. But she had a small part on Queen Latifah's beauty shop. She was one of the girls at the helm. She was one of the beauticians at the beginning that left. That didn't want to do hair in Queen Latifah's shop. And she used to be on a sitcom that was on, I think the sitcom was either on TV1 or BET, where it was three married couples. And she was married to, her character was married to Ron Rico, the actor, on there. And anyway, this is her stepmom or whatever in her past. It's her stepmom. So we see Keyshawn fall from the pyramid, and the person who helps her up is Derek. He was a male cheerleader. He took a liking to her. He was real sweet. She's sitting on the side because Gidget asked her, did she want to try the stunt one more time. She said no. And another black girl, a light skinned black girl, comes out and is like, I want to try one from level 5. Keyshawn's stunt was a level 4 stunt. And the light skinned girl lands her stunt. Her name is Alicia. And apparently this is Keyshawn's new stepsister. So in all of this, we find out Keyshawn's father was married to her mom. They were married. And on a flight from wherever, going to wherever, he meets this woman, Alicia's mom. Cause she's telling it like it's a fairy tale. Like it all came from when I first served him a drink. And Keyshawn, by this time, she's tired of everything, and she's like tell the whole story. It's not fairy tales and rainbows. You served him and his wife a drink, my mama. So basically, she a homewrecker. She broke up. Joyful Drake's character broke up Keyshawn's father and mother, and they got divorced. He left her and took Keyshawn with him and married this woman. This woman already had 2 daughters. The oldest one, her name was Alicia. She was lighter, and the other one, she was like paper bag type brown. And she treated. It's funny that they had Keyshawn's backstory tied up in just like what Cinderella and her wicked stepsisters. The sisters weren't really that wicked to her though, because they was too busy being bitchy towards each other to even focus on being bitchy towards Keyshawn. But the mom was definitely bitchy towards Keyshawn. She would make Keyshawn do their hair and all that stuff, had them in pageants and all this and that, you know. But she didn't have Keyshawn and everything. It was even a scene where they were in the kitchen. Keyshawn's father wasn't there, but they was in the kitchen, and the mom was saying how hard it is raising 2 girls. And she was like, you got 3 girls now. Like, you raising me too. Like, and she said, oh, I keep forgetting to say that. Like, lady, she was no good to Keyshawn. But anyway, that same day when they had the football game, the tryouts, when Keyshawn was sitting on the bench, 2 football players came over to her, was saying something, and they were black, and the black boy said something. He insulted her because she was brown. He told her he ain't really like her. He thinks she looked like a burnt chicken nugget. So colorism is real, and it's where her views about her kids and wanting the long hair, all that stuff. It started with this because what the boys were saying, and then what that stepmother would say to her or whatever, because she dismissed her like she not pretty too, because she was like, I got 2 yellow girls, they not gonna waste their yellow or whatever. But anyway, when the black boys insulted her, Derek came to her defense, and the black boy tried to bitch Derek and said, you're not gonna do nothing anyway. So Derek just walked off, and when he turned to walk off, the black boy spit and hit the back of Derek's head. So Derek turned around and commenced to whipping his tail. He beat him up, and then 2 other football players, black ones, came over and tried to jump in. He beat them up too. So they fast forward to them being inside the school, and we see that the black boys, they all got suspended and they can't play in some big game that was coming up. I think it was a championship game. but they couldn't play football in the game. But Derek didn't get suspended because they really need him on the cheer squad. He good on the cheer squad. So eventually he asks Keyshawn. He sees her walking home in the rain one day, offers her a ride. They go to a place called Taffy's, like a diner or hangout for the kids. It's full of black people. He takes her there. They eating fries. They talking, and some time has passed since he beat those boys up in this moment. But they're talking, and we see Patrice Woodbine come up as a waitress, and she asked them, "Do they want something?" She said, "Keyshawn said she wants some more bacon fries." She was like, "And don't you want something else?" Like, basically, you got this white boy in here, and he got the money to pay for stuff, cause Derek's family did have money. Keyshawn's family had money too, and apparently at this town was becoming, it was a predominantly white town, and it's becoming more predominantly black, and it's black people that have money, it looks like. But Patrice tells Keyshawn that, you can get more out of him. Like, don't you want something more extra or whatever, whatever? Because this your little date, right? Ain't y'all on a date? And Keyshawn like, no. Derek was like, I don't know. So when she walks off, he said, this kind of sort of a date. And Keyshawn like, no. And she said, but if you was taking me on a date, what would you want to do? And he tells her he would want to take her downtown to dinner at some fancy restaurant and go on the riverboat or whatever. As he's saying this, Keyshawn looking around the restaurant and seeing all the black faces. And she realizing that they gonna get looks, and I guess she, in her mind, like, I can't be seen and going out with this white boy. So she just looks at him and say, take me home. The whole time they at school, they talk about the white, since the black kids have moved to town, they used to have something called a snowball, which was like a winter dance or winter formal. And because the black people started moving in, the white parents don't want their kids socializing with the black kids. So they started having the parents will finance a separate ball for the kids, for their kids. And they were still calling it the snowball. But the school, Chuckalisa High School, they started having a dance called the mistletoe, for the black kids or whatever. And we see them in the house, Keyshawn in the house, with her stepsisters. They both getting dressed to go. I mean, no, those girls are both dressed with their dates and everything to go to this dance, the mistletoe or whatever. And they taking pictures, and the father is like, Keyshawn's father is like, here, Keyshawn, um, take this picture of us. So he moves to this, he gives her the camera so she could take a picture of him, the stepmother, and her two daughters with their dates. And Keyshawn got to work her clothes because she ain't going to the ball. Nobody asked her to go to the ball. And then they said the chauffeur coming, and somebody knocks on the door. They say it was the chauffeur. But the father turns around and said, Keyshawn. And it's Derek with his suit on, and he's taking her to the snowball with the white kids. And apparently, they at the snowball, and you see this one white lady with a nasty looking scowl on her face. Just keep looking at them, and then it was a point where they were slow dancing. But it was black kids at this snowball too, I noticed. But the lady kept having a scowl on her face every time they showed her. And at one point, Keyshawn and Dirk was about to kiss, and she clears her throat, and when they looked, she's scowling again. So they separate their faces and they don't kiss. Next thing you know, they leaving the ball. They go out and get in the car. Keyshawn had this really, really pretty royal blue dress with a royal blue fur cape. So pretty. She always wear the prettiest furs. But in her backstory, there was one moment where, like I was saying earlier, when the stepmother was talking about how her and the father got together. and she tried to make it seem like it was all pretty. Her and Keyshawn had gotten into a big argument, and she called Keyshawn a bitch and told Keyshawn she was ghetto like her mother and stuff. And we see Keyshawn in her room. She got white people on the wall. Like, you know how back in the day when you put pictures of what you want, what you aspire to, and stuff on your wall, that was all on the wall or whatever. And also there was a scene where they were at school at lunch, and the two sisters were going back and forth because the one sister said that she saw something scribbled on the wall in one of the bathrooms at school, and also she saw that it said her older sister Alicia give the best head, and Alicia had like a look on her face. And also I want to note too, Keyshawn's father, he a pedophile, because when Keyshawn took the camera to take the picture of the two stepsisters in their dates for their ball, you see the father kiss her on the forehead, and you hear Uncle Clifford narrate that Pretty comes with its own set of problems as he's doing that to her, and you can see she uncomfortable. So I'm feeling like Keyshawn's father was molesting that oldest daughter, and because they showed her boys really liked her at school, and she would always tell all the boys no, she would never give them the time of day, and it's probably because she's already been touched at home by Keyshawn's father. Um, that's what I got. I felt like they alluded to that in that scene, and it was crazy that Uncle Clifford was narrating and saying it, but the words that he said was some of the same stuff that we've heard Patrice say in season one about having shape, a certain shape, and or a pretty face comes with its own set of problems, stuff like that or whatever. But anyway, so after the dance, we see when Keyshawn and Derek come down the steps and go outside. They get in his car. He's driving a Prius. So we get in a timeline now. In my mind, I thought that Mercedes was like 30 and Keyshawn was probably like 25, 26. But according to this storyline, the way they had it in this episode, Keyshawn is only maybe between 19 and 21, because her and Dirk, after that ball, her and Dirk get in the car. She said that she don't want to go home. It starts to snow. She playing in the snow, getting the snow at a time. They get in the car, they drive, they park somewhere, and they have sex in the backseat of the car. Next thing we see a scene, Keyshawn in that house that they live in now, laying on the couch in the nightie, and she's pregnant, and she's fussing at Derek about the fact that she don't like none of the stuff that they bought the baby. And he's like, my mama bought us this, and you should accept it. You keep asking for extras, and basically like you're not satisfied with nothing. Cause Keyshawn, she said, I want persimmon. I asked for persimmon colors, and it was like green, like the ugly dark muted boo boo green and all that stuff, and she wasn't feeling it. So the whole time when they were still in high school, Derek had said that he had got a scholarship for I think he said Ole Miss, to do the cheerleading. His father thought he was gay, but he's really not. And we also find out that the lady that had a scowl on her face at the dance, it was actually his mother. He told Keyshawn outside of the dance that after they left that was his mom. We also find out that Derek's father is abusing him and beating on him, and he was lying, saying he got injured doing stunts practice and stuff like that for the cheer squad, because Keyshawn didn't make the cheer squad, but Alicia did. Also, Keyshawn is pregnant, like I said, and she's 8 months. And when they get into it, when Derek says like you never satisfied with shit, like Keyshawn, and she was like never satisfied, and he was like my mom's trying. She bought this stuff. She was like, your mom should have helped put a down payment on this duplex for us. She said, but no, my daddy did it. My daddy did that. And I've been working, I'm 8 months pregnant. I'm working nights at Walmart to support us and to feed us. take care of us or whatever, and you don't have a job, you don't have nothing going on. So we find out that yeah, he was her knight in shining armor when it came to them black boys insulting her. But they became teenage parents, started living together. His parents disowned him for being with a black girl and having a baby with a black girl. They don't want to do nothing for her or the baby. Now they all of a sudden the mother is doing something. He comes from an abusive home. Keyshawn comes from a home where she didn't feel loved by her father. She felt because you know, the father was not around a lot, and it was just her left with that stepmother, and the stepmother always had some negative, crazy shit to say. But one thing she did say to Keyshawn is when Keyshawn came home from that dance, from the ball, she tried to creep in, and the mother cleared her throat. She was sitting there, and she came down. She said, "You know what? I apologize for missing curfew." And she was like, "Girl, you fine. You beat my daughters home. Alicia and Veronica, I think she said her name was. That was the two daughters' names. She was like, you beat them home, so in my book, you the good child for the night or whatever." And she said, "How'd you like that outfit? Looked like it was custom made for you." And Keyshawn said, "I know. It fit perfect, and I love it." And she told her, she said, "But you didn't get to pick it out, though. He picked everything. Be careful of being somebody's Barbie, because at some time, they're going to put you down and go pick out another Barbie." Like giving Keyshawn basically some words of encouragement, and she was sitting on the couch crying because I'm guessing by this time, either she might be realizing the father was messing with her daughter, or he already then started cheating on her and messing with somebody else, and that's why he not home right now and she down there drinking. So Keyshawn goes up the steps or whatever, but when Keyshawn and Derek are in their place getting into it, because this is the night that when she said this is the night Keyshawn got pregnant, I'm guessing. And when we flash forward months down the line, Keyshawn, like I said, she is pregnant. She in high school. I'm guessing she dropped out. Derek was going to be graduating. He was a senior. But, so he didn't take the scholarship and all that kind of stuff. He moved in with Keyshawn. And he said his mom's problem with her was she was like, those girls are gold diggers. They only want your money. But that wasn't what it was. Keyshawn looked at him like a knight and shining armor because he saved her, or he came to her rescue when those boys were saying that, those rude, colorist things that they were saying to her that day. And he turns out to start choking. Alright, y'all, so we back, as you can see, not in my usual location filming today. But as I was saying, so Keyshawn and Derek, they get into this argument when he says that the mother's trying. She said that your mom could have helped put a down payment on this place, and I'm working and I'm doing this, and you ain't doing shit, basically. He chokes her out. And we see her. Ooh, what is that? My bad, y'all. I'm back. But yeah, we see her try to run back to her father's house with his new wife and two daughters. When she banging on the door, she ran up to the door. It's raining out. She got that little, them little Walmart 90s. And she ran there after Derek choked her out. She asked could she come back. She said she made a mistake. And the stepmother tells her, no, you made a choice, and you gotta own up to your choices, and sends her back to be with Derek, which is so effed up. Then we see she goes back to Derek. So then we flash back to, let's get back to present day. In present day, Keyshawn did her dance. She in like a VIP section by herself. Jocelyn comes over and talks to her. Jocelyn's her fairy godmother, as I said. She telling Keyshawn, you could be so much bigger than this. What's your plan? I'm just trying to spit game to you. I'm having a party. Come to my party. After this, like my little after party, and we can chop it up some more. Cause Keisha was like, "What, you want me to dance for you?" She was like, "No, I want to chop it up. I want to give you some, talk business, like let you know some stuff." And Keisha was like, "Okay." So um, we see Wody, Keyshawn, and Wody, Keyshawn, and Murder in this suite, and there's money all over the floor. Keyshawn got this really pretty ice blue, shiny, shimmery outfit on, and they talking, and she like, we going up. They celebrating all the money that she got thrown on her from that night, or whatever. And then that's when she was saying she let them know that Rome had got her this wig deal with that wig or whatever. She still got that blonde wig on. Then they just living it up or whatever. Teak still looking bothered. So she asked Teak, you want some you want something? She offered him something. He said hell no. So he gets up and walk and go into like the bedroom area or whatever, looking out at them, and we see um her and Woody give each other the eye, and they put some words up on the screen, some captions up, and it was like Keyshawn giving Woody the eye, saying, "These two niggas fucking," and Woody give Keyshawn the eye with the caption, "I don't fucking know, but it's weird," or whatever, something to that effect. At some point, Keyshawn was standing up, and they gave Woody or somebody gave her the wink, and she fell out and played pretend like she was dying, and a pile of money falling to her death. Then she said she gonna go. She gonna do something. Teak still sitting off to the side, like something wrong with him. Murder like, let me get up and go check on this nigga. And then Wody said, we need to find Teak a bitch. And Murder gave Wody a look like, the fuck you mean find him a bitch? He was like, looked like he was bothered by that. And he going in with Teak, and then that's when Rome enters the room, talking all that stuff, and he giving them their room key cards, like, we got y'all a nice room in here, whatever. And Big T comes up to him and says something. They get into it because they want to know, they talking about the next leg of the tour, but they want to know, like, how come. Oh, I know what it was. He was talking about him and Keyshawn leaving to go to Jocelyn's party. And they thought, and Murder was like, yeah, we gonna roll through there. And he was like, nah, nigga, y'all can't slide through. It's just for me and Keyshawn. And Teak like, what the fuck? Like, you keep treating us like we ain't nobody or whatever. Like, we trash. And Rome said some slick shit to him. Teak hop in his face again. And then we see Keyshawn say, don't worry about it, y'all. Because Teak grabbed his stuff, was like, I'll sleep in the fucking hearse before I take anything from this nigga or whatever. So he picks his stuff up to leave and left the room like he gonna go sleep in the hearse. Keyshawn tells them that she gonna take care of it. She gonna slide up the wrong room and get their room cards again. So she goes up to Rome's room. Rome in the room on the patio in a real nice black fluffy looking Versace robe. And Keyshawn got her outfit. I mean, she come up there, whatever, and he like, well, let me let you know that the wig deal fell through. We couldn't get the money right, the splits right, or whatever. But I'm getting you another deal or sponsorship with Pleaser. Pleaser is the brand name for the shoes that the dancers wear, whatever. So he had these real pretty blinged out heel. The platform on the shoe was real blinged out and pretty. He was like, and you can wear that with the floss. Where your floss at? So she shows him the floss, and she's like, well, why are you not dressed? He said, I'm about to go get dressed. So he leaves to act like he gonna go get dressed, and she's like in the bathroom or something, and she trying on the shoes. And he coming in with the robe open. And I said, I fucking knew he was gonna try this bullshit with this girl. So she like, Ron, what are you doing? Then we get ready to leave, like, and your robe is open. And he all like, oh, you don't like what you see? She like, Rome, come on, like, go get dressed. And she leaves out of the bathroom. And next thing you know, he come up to her. He throws her down on the bed. He proceeds to try to rape her. So she realized that it was all about him trying to fuck her this whole time. He really wasn't trying to help her get big or get a name and do this and that. It was all because he wanted to have sex with her. So like I said, he throws her down on the bed. He rips her outfit, her titty out. He's choking her and stuff, and she ends up hitting him some kind of way, kneeing him in the privates, and running out and running down the hallway and banging on the door to the room. And when she bangs on the door to that room down the hall, that's when we flash back to her past, and we see her banging on the door to her father's house with that stepmother when she went after Derek had choked her that night. I told y'all she went to the stepmother's house or whatever, and the stepmother wouldn't let her come back. She sent her back. But this time, in present day, the door opens and it's Wody. And Wody like, Keyshawn, because you know she got the floss on, but it's ripped. And she goes in the room and he brings it in. He like, what's wrong? And she sits on the chair and she tells him that Rome tried to rape her. She said he ain't want to look out for me this whole time. All this was because he wanted to fuck me. And she lets him. Oh, I forgot to mention too. When her and Rome was having it out in that room, she said, he told her, you and Murder think y'all slick. Y'all try and play like y'all mess with each other. But I looked at it. When you kissed him, he looked like he ain't even like it. And the whole time, he been giving them keys to rooms, but he been going in the room before them. And he went in that room, and he put a camera in there, so he got Murder and Teak on camera fucking, because he showed the video to Keyshawn. It was like, I'ma out this nigga. This nigga ain't no fucking gangster rapper. He ain't even no real gangster. Nigga a fucking faggy or whatever. And he said that just before he attempted to rape Keyshawn, as he showed her the video. So Keyshawn tells Wody, he tried to rape me, and he knows he don't care about murder. He know everything. And Woody like, what you mean? She like, he know everything about Lord Murder, everything about Teak, everything. Cause Wody already figured that Murder and Teak was messing around. So Wody like, okay, all right. And then we flash back to a scene from Keyshawn's past that we already talked about. Next thing you know, we see Wody go and Wody goes to Rome's room. And when he gets there, it's Wody goes to Rome's room, and when he gets to the room, it's an orgy going on. People just everywhere having sex. Rome is in the back. Wody goes to him like, yeah, let's chop it up about this second leg of the tour. He like, okay. And they go to another area. It's two girls in there get ready to do something with each other or in the midst of doing something. He tells them to get out. So he like, yeah, I brought you a present too. So it's a vial of something. He gives it to Rome and was like, here, I got, this for you. So Rome empties the contents out and chop it up. Then he looked at Wody. He was like, well, you partake first. So he gives Wody the thing to snort, the little straw, the gold straw. But Wody put his hand in the way to make Rome think he sniffed up the stuff that he set out. But he didn't. He sniffed a different line that was already right there. So then Rome like, okay, so Wody pulls out a cigarette. Rome gets to snorting the stuff that Wody just bought him. And they talking about the tour. And Wody brings up all the stuff that he done and starts asking him questions. And at this point, we see Rome looking different. He coughing and he can't get his shit together. And it's because we find out that Wody then brought him some fucking fentanyl. So you be thinking, he started talking to him like, we find out that Rome's mother had died some years ago. And Wody talking to him like, what you want open casket and all this other stuff, because you just seen the angel of death, and I'm walking you through this and all this and that, and you see Rome going like this, head slugging over and stuff, can't get his shit together. And he asked him where that video recording the murder, because he said Keyshawn told me everything. Because at first when the conversation started, he said, why Keyshawn abruptly leave or something to that effect about the thing. He said, I don't know what the hell wrong with that girl, something. He tried to play it off. He don't want him to know. He didn't want Morty to know that he tried to rape her or whatever, of course. But anyway, Morty takes him down and give him the wink as he's taking his last breath and get up and walk out. And Rome falls over onto the floor. Morty walks out. The people in the place like, oh, this nigga old dead, call the ambulance. And we flash forward to Keyshawn. Keyshawn then went home. Because she had told Rome before it. So guys, I'm back. Had to let the phone cool off. The sun got in the way and made the phone overheat. I had to let it cool off so I could use the camera. But as I was trying to finish up the story, so we saw Mississippi. She decided to leave the tour and go home to her family. She was already telling Morty that's what she was going to do. She had asked Rome, or told Rome, when he added 2 more weeks to the tour, she had told him, no, I got to go home and get to my family. And he was like, no, you got to get this money. I'm going to take care of you. That ain't home. I'm going to get you he was basically selling her the dream that she was going to not have to go back to that gutter town or whatever. And he was going to get her something bigger. But it was all because he wanted to. I feel like, honestly, he was going to use he was using her. If she would have been okay with him sleeping with her and him not having to try to sexually assault her, because I did use the grape word earlier in this. I hope this don't get the video flag, but if she had shown that she was willing to go ahead and sleep with him, I'm thinking that he was going to eventually try to like start pimping her out. That's what I think it was going to get to if things didn't go down the way that they did. But like I said, she got home. She came in. The little boy was on the floor. Derek had the little girl in the kitchen. The little boy, she spoke and he asked her why she was home so early. She said, she made up some lie and said it was over. But he said, but no, Rome called and he said they extended it. So she made up another lie as to why the extension didn't happen. Then when she kept trying to talk to the little boy, he cried and he covered himself. And she looked at him. The next thing we know, she's in a doctor's office. The little boy, they said that his elbow was dislocated. So Derek has started abusing the little boy the way his father abused him. And this is what I meant. Like, he abused the little boy. They looked and the boy had bruises all up his back. So, of course, Keyshawn bringing him into the doctor's office, they're going to probably look at her like she had something to do with it or she knew what was going on, and she truly did not. So, the whole time, and I said that she shouldn't leave them kids with him because something about him I don't trust. And my intuition was right. He beating on the little boy. I don't think he doing nothing to the little girl, but he beat on the little boy. Keyshawn went home, put him in his room, and went in on Derek about beating on him and stuff like that and abusing him, and you turned into your father and you're not gonna do to my son what your father did to you. She said you could hit me any day. And now that's not the first time I've seen that acted out on scene where the mom is like, you can beat on me all day, but you're not gonna put your hands on my kids type thing. And he was getting ready for a job interview. She threw it in his face. He's not going to get the job no way. She going to keep having to take care of her 3 kids, the 2 little ones, and him. So all these years, he hasn't been able to hold down a job. And then we get to the fact she kept saying, because he's only 3. So you was in high school, and you were not a senior in high school when you got pregnant. Because remember, they showed that Dirk was a senior, and he was getting a scholarship, a full ride athletic scholarship to go for cheerleading. And she was going to be in 10th, she was maybe in 11th grade, not going to be in 10th grade. She probably was going to be a senior the next year in high school. So she had a kid at the age of 17 or so, I'm thinking. So that would make Keyshawn, and the little boy is 3 now. So that would make Keyshawn no more than 20, 21 years old if she had, failed to been left back a year. And I'm like, dang, she's super young, her and Gidget. And I did not pick up on that they would be that young. I thought their characters was probably, like I said, mid-20s. That was, oh, wow. Oh, wow. But anyway, yeah, she's super young, but she's very smart, though, as far as like business is concerned, because when she was having a conversation with Rome about the wig line, she didn't want to do those shoes. She was when he told her the wig line fell through, and he was getting her a deal with the people with the stripper shoes. She was like, no, because that's going to be a niche market, and only women who do this for a living will want to buy them. Whereas with hair, women from all ages and all kinds of demographics and backgrounds can buy the hair. Like, you're going to get more money out of selling hair and wigs than you're going to get out of selling these shoes. I said Keyshawn is very smart, and honestly, when she had the conversation with Wody and she told Wody what Rome had done as far as secretly recording murder and all of that kind of stuff and trying to assault her, she did. She was like hitting herself upside the head, saying, "I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb." And he told her, like, "You're not dumb. You smart. You smart at this and that and so forth. Whatever. You just got played. You just didn't know that's what he was going to do. So don't call yourself stupid." Cause she even said stupid or dumb, one of the two, but they mean the same thing. So yeah, her and Derek get in a fight, or not. He punches her in the face, knocks her to the floor, grabs her by her hair, drags her to the bedroom. She tries to crawl out of the bedroom. You can hear the kids hollering and screaming, and that's what he said. The little boy was hollering and screaming and everything, and he couldn't take it. He whining all day. He can't take it, and she ain't been there for 2 weeks to deal with the kids where he had to, and he want to discipline and raise his son the way he want to, and that's what she was like. But like how your father did, made you get a switch so he can whip you. Like, you're not gonna be putting your hands on my kids. And he had her against the wall by her throat, and he had just finished ironing, so the iron was still hot, and he was putting the iron up to her face to scare her. And she was like, "No, not my face. Anywhere but my face. Anywhere but my face." And he put it real close to her, made her think he was going to do it. And he ended up putting it down. And that whole scene was reminiscent of good times when Penny mother had that iron and locked the door so she couldn't run and hide in her room. Y'all remember that. But yeah, he put the iron down and he looked at her and he told her, "I will discipline my kids as I see fit." And then he let her go, and he walked out, and the episode goes off with her just sitting there on the floor crying. She gonna have to make a plan to get away from him. And in the midst of this argument, when she came back with the little boy, I think she did say that she's gonna get out of there, that she gonna leave. But yeah, she gotta make a plan. I feel like, because the whole time Uncle Cliff was narrating, he kept saying that you try to save somebody, you want to save people, but some people they not ready to be saved. So he was saying, all this time she wasn't ready to be saved, but maybe this scene and the fact that he didn't start beating that little boy, that might be her thing that click in her mind, like, it's time to get out here, and I gotta save myself. Nobody gonna save me. I gotta do it for myself. Because sometimes you don't do stuff and be serious about it until it's you doing it for you and not somebody doing it for you. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the end of this video. I hope y'all enjoyed P-Valley Season 2, Episode 5, White Nights. Roam out of there. It was real slick how Wody winked his eye at him, and the whole monologue about somebody being an angel in disguise or a devil in disguise. Wody played that real well, and the way they had him walking off and everything slowed down a little in that scene as he walked off. That was real. I like that. But let's see what's going to happen next week. We're going to get back to everybody else in the paint and what's going on with Haley and Andre and all that kind of stuff next week. So I'll see y'all next Sunday or Monday. Holla. Don't forget to click the like and the subscribe if you haven't.